there's already post-game video circulating of Brian Kelly following the 27-20 loss to number 23 USC, in which he is saying, I don't know why I'm still doing this and why we're here. He's upset that they're here again. Where is here? Here is having lost a season opener at LSU to a quality opponent, a ranked opponent, for a third consecutive year. He says it is quite simply because they don't know how to finish. They don't know how to have an opponent on the ropes and finish the game. In this case, you're up 17-14 into the fourth quarter against the USC team that you had mostly had control against. They'd been moving the football through the air, but they had not been able to run the ball. You come out of halftime and you are telling your offensive coordinator, you're telling your team, we need to run the football if we're going to take control of this game. And that's what you end up getting in the second half. You got some outstanding gash plays from John Emery Jr., who started to look like the five-star tailback we thought he would be a few years ago when he first arrived at LSU. You're getting to see that offensive line finally find their rhythm. You're seeing Will Campbell find a way to pull and go pick people up. But as the game gets deeper into the fourth quarter, and as the crowd begins to let itself be known when you are in the USC part of the field, it looked like LSU lost their composure. It looked like Garrett Nussmeier could not get the snap off, that they didn't have a silent count that they could use to get the football snapped in time. You had Will Campbell pointing to his ears going, I can't hear. And at a time when you needed to be making plays, you were picking up stupid penalties. You watch USC blow 2 timeouts for doing the same thing. The difference is, with the ball in their hands, SC got exactly what they wanted. Under 2 minutes left to go, Lincoln Riley and Miller Moss are like, okay, we know how to run 2 minutes out of this. And the LSU defense could not find a way to stop USC from getting into field goal range, because that's what it was really about. And when they finally did get into field goal range, not only did they pick up a penalty, it is a personal foul. It's 15 yards tacked on to the end of the run, which sets up what looks like it's going to be an easy chip shot field goal with about 13 seconds left to go in the game. And rather than spike the ball or even run the ball to the middle of the field, give a kicker another opportunity to just go win this game as the clock expires, Lincoln Riley makes the decision that I think, in hindsight, I would not have made, but he made it, to hand Woody Marks the ball, and Woody Marks goes and scores the touchdown. But if you're watching this play, and Kirk Herbstreit did a really great job of bringing this back in the replay where you got the end zone cam, the safety voided the middle of the field when all he had to do was hit his run fit. For whatever reason, he saw a tight end pulling and decided that's where he needed to go with his eyes, with his feet, and he vacated what was left of the space. And what could have been maybe a 5 to 7 yard gain that the safety could have stuck. And maybe you don't get that timeout. Maybe something else happens. Maybe the kicker misses another field goal because he missed one to end the first half. You get an opportunity to get the ball back or push this thing into overtime and then go win it. So you have a defense that lost its composure at the end with the game on the line, even though they had been doing a really great job of stuffing the LSU run game and forcing them to throw the ball all over the yard with them. I realize that there are people that are going to say that USC doesn't have a pass defense. Well, I mean, you might say the same thing at LSU for this case. Both the quarterbacks were great. They both passed for over 300 yards. They both completed more than 70% of their passes. They both acquitted themselves very well. I think sometimes you're going to run into quarterbacks that just know how to operate an offense. It is not unlike a great pitcher in baseball. A great pitcher hits the spots, hitter's not going to be able to do anything about that. There's always a weakness to every defense. Any defense you want to run, it's about whether or not you can disguise that weakness or fool the quarterback into believing that that weakness is there when it's a strength, right? When you drop your robber down, when you send your safeties, when you send your defensive line out into coverage, when you send your safeties down, and then you are backing them out, when you're saying that, showing that dime mug look that really was fooling Garrett Nussmeier because he didn't know if you're bringing 7 or not because they brought 7 before, and then they faded him out, and you're having to dump the ball off because you don't know where the pressure's coming from because they're going to bring, or it looks like they're bringing more than you can block, right? You saw Garrett Nussmeier throwing the ball away or being on this different page than his wide receivers in key situations, even as he's making great plays. You saw the immaturity of LSU. That's what you saw. You saw a football team that was still trying to figure out how to win. And this is what Brian Kelly's talking about. He says, I've been talking about these things for years, and we're still talking about them today. And he slammed his fist on the table to make his point, to which I'm going, I don't care nothing about your acts of violence, dog, because you upset that you lost by 7 to a USC team that you led by 3. That's on you, right? If nothing else, they kick a field goal. Maybe you get the ball back in time to get your touchback, take a shot play, get down the field, get out of bounds, give your kicker an opportunity to go tie the game up. There's all sorts of ways this could have gone, but the way that it went is LSU was not mature enough to finish, and USC was mature enough to keep their head as the time is running out. Really, Miller Moss showing Miller time. Like, that dude was composed with the game on the line. He went out there and he made plays, and it was all on him to find the right receivers at the right times. And you got to know where the ball is going if you're LSU in that case too. You're sending the ball to the outside. You're sending the ball to the boundaries because you can't afford to waste a timeout. You have to get outside. So vacate the middle of the field. Send one safety deep to the middle, or perhaps even drop down your bring back your linebacker, your middle linebacker, to the middle of the field. Run Tampa 2 if that's what you got to do. But I just kept looking around going, Blake Baker's just on the sideline because he knows what he called and he knows what they didn't execute. As much as I really want to feel bad for Brian Kelly in this message, with his message of it's on me, we still don't know how to finish, that is on you. Coaches teach composure. Coaches teach confidence, and they allow you to lean into your training. They allow you to lean into what you have taught them. If you have not taught them how to be composed with the game on the line, that is on you. One of the things that I pride myself in doing in my job is when we're live on air, or I'm live on air, something goes wrong or something's not going to plan. It is up to me not to lose my mind and say everything is going bad. And it has happened before. I've had to vamp many times. Sometimes it's my own doing. Sometimes it's doing of other people. The point there is I have training to lean back on going, this is a situation that I can manage. This is a situation that I can win in, and it does not have to go as bad as it could. What is it that Brian Kelly is telling his players that doesn't allow for them to be composed at the end of games like this? To start the season, to end the season, big-time situations. He's got a Heisman Trophy winner in Jaden Daniels last year. They were able to put up a ton of points, but they couldn't stop anybody. Big part of what they did against Florida State. I mean, we really need to take a look at Brian Kelly, I think, and not necessarily the players.